Hey everyone, welcome back. Of course, here with Bill. Exciting video today. We're going to do a deeper dive into Knightscope, but really around the tech, the business model, and even questions that we're seeing about IP. So we'll make sure we get a bunch of that in this video. But first things first, Bill, how are you?
Good. We get some COVID hair today, so we're sporting the hat.
Hey, at least it's company branded. So, love to
We're
see
on brand, no problem, man.
it. Awesome. Well, here, I guess, you know give me if someone asked, hey, Bill, give me the pitch for the business model of Knightscope. How you guys make money, what makes you guys maybe a little different than what's out there today. Where would you take me?
I think it'd be around three things. One, do you believe that autonomous self-driving technology, robotics, AI, and electric vehicles are going to make a big impact on society over the next decade or two? Binary question, yes or no. And if it's yes, it's well, Knightscope is literally at the intersection of all four of those critical technologies. Second, I would say a lot of investors worry about, the market for something. Do you have market risk? Will, XYZ kind of new product not reach a market, or, flip phones coming back, or minivans in vogue, or station wagons, or whatever it might be? Like, I can assure you, like, the market for crime will never collapse. Like we've talked before, it's not like 7 billion people are going to wake up tomorrow morning and all start behaving. So I can assure you that there's no, market risk there. And I think, as speaking of risks, we've now proven the technology has worked out in the marketplace. So we really don't have a technical risk. It's all around execution. So the third point I would make is, the management team that founded the company back in 2013 is the same management team in place today, and we've grown it significantly. We have a track record of doing what we said we're going to go do, even though it's extremely difficult, and naysayers all over the place, and people throwing rocks and banana peels and what have you. We still willed the company into existence from literally nothing, from zero, got it funded, grew it, and then got it listed on NASDAQ. So I think that's a team you're going to want to back. So to kind of recap, it's around technology, it's around the market, and then it's around the team.
Yeah, no, love it. What an insane path. So incredible, and congratulations. Definitely not easy, but no. So a lot of questions. How much money can Knightscope possibly make? And what's the blue sky? You see these questions all over. So I'm curious if you can talk maybe a little bit more about that and how you would answer. What's the blue sky? Where do you see this? How does a company make $10 billion? Those types of questions.
So as an officer of a publicly traded company, obviously I'm not giving guidance nor, investment advice or anything like that. But if you ask me personally, like, what's my ambition? I probably want to give you a slightly longer winded answer, which is, we want to build something analogous to a defense contractor over the long term, right? So the Department of Defense has one person in charge, the Secretary of Defense. He has nearly $800 billion budget, and we give the 2 million plus troops every level of capability you might ever imagine. So, and there's a Lockheed Martin, a General Dynamics, a Northrop, a Raytheon to build all that stuff and give a soldier every capability you can imagine and you could never imagine. We don't do that on our own soil. So the U.S. Department of Justice and the U.S. Department of Homeland Security have no federal jurisdiction over those 19,000 law enforcement agencies and 8,000 private security firms. There's literally no one in charge. There's no, kind of risk capital innovation process or anything like that. So the company we're building, I hope one day would be, a $30 billion company that looks like a Northrop or a General Dynamics or what have you, but instead is focused on the Department of Homeland Security, Department of Justice, the law enforcement agencies, and the physical security practitioners out there. And I think that is not only a massive opportunity, but for our shareholders, but certainly a significant impact on society at large.
Yeah, interesting. Good answer. A lot of people, it's funny, I see they're responding to the first time seeing Knightscope being like, I've watched Terminator before. I'm sure you guys get some of those as well. I'm
Oh yeah, yeah,
curious.
yeah. Did you not see the movie? Do you know how poorly this is gonna end? This is gonna end very poorly. And my response is yes. It is going to end very, very poorly for the criminals and terrorists.
I love the saying. It's funny you touched on that other last recording as well, and it's funny how often it comes up. But leading into my next question, a lot of questions about the tech and IP behind the tech. Is there any parts there you can dive into and kind of just talk about?
Uh, I can give you the factual and then maybe a little some qualitative. So the factual is, we've got 9 patents. Some people don't like me saying the following, but a lot of investors on the more typically on the East Coast worry about patents and I have this 17-year little monopoly on my little thing over here. Folks on the West Coast is like technology changes so fast in 18 months is kind of not a relevant conversation. I think the third point is it takes a lot of money to prosecute a patent. It takes staff time, it takes resources, cash outlay can start adding up real quick if you do a lot of them. So we just picked a handful or a couple handfuls that were important. I mean, if we had discretionary capital, discretionary time, and a discretionary amount of staff, like we could have easily filed over 100 patents by now. But that's not really kind of, in my view, the best use of proceeds for our shareholders, who I work for.
Got it. Yeah, interesting answer. And you even touched on tech changes so quick that where we are today probably won't be where we are in a year and a half, 2 years from now. So it makes a lot of sense. So kind of diving into the next part, people ask questions about kind of the sales strategy and how are you guys getting these robots in people's hands? Curious if you can touch on that at all.
Sure, we just have an app. You download the robot from the cloud. It just shows up at your door, and we're all good to go. So, in all seriousness, the sales process is kind of complicated. Not just on the client side, but the technology itself. So you combine those two things, and it's a like higher ticket, priced item. It typically not a good idea to have a third party involved. We do from time to time partner with some channel folks, some resellers, but a vast majority of our sales is direct, which is we've been out recruiting a lot, and part of it is increasing significantly the direct sales team, and it's typically someone from industry, be it ex-military, ex-law enforcement, ex-security, subject matter experts that can be a trusted advisor to our clients and are, not just, dialing for dollars and just trying to get a commodity sold. So I think that combination it can be very helpful for a client and for us.
Yeah. And so to open it up, like let's imagine let's say I'm the president of some university. Walk me through kind of how it would work, and also like I say, okay, well, I want 10 of these on my campus, or what's the conversation like? Maybe if you can just paint me the picture of you're talking to me as I'm the president of a school, whatever, pick a university, and here I want to do some of Knightscope. What's the next part look like? And if you don't mind, a lot of people ask, oh, what do these things cost? So I'll throw that back to you if you could touch on any of those things.
Sure, sure. I mean, usually the first question I ask is basically, or I assert, you tell me that your employees, your students, your tenants are, the most important asset that you have. You should be using the most advanced security technology out there in the world to protect them, right? So then you get that nod. It's like, excellent. Well, then let's talk about autonomous security robots and how we can automate public safety. Usually the process works where we would do a Zoom call like this and first better understand what the client's needs are before we go start pitching what we're doing is, what's your security program look like? What's the budget? Who's responsible for it? What does it look like today in terms of fencing, guarding, lighting, cameras, guards, whatever it might be, and better understand where either you have an exposure, you have ongoing criminal activity, you've got a budget problem. Let's kind of really understand things before we go any further. After we do that, then we'll do, okay, looks like we might be able to help you. Let's do a virtual demo of the technology so they can see the user interface, get their, do the Q&A. And then, if possible, we have this crazy robot aquarium we talked about running around the country on the Robot Roadshow. Typically, what's been very helpful is for us to first do that virtual interaction and then have the prospective client come and see the machines in person. And then we'll put out a proposal and do an actual site survey, like a technical assessment. You say you want 10 of these. How did you come up with that conclusion? Exactly where? Where is the ingress egress stuff? When we talk to retailers, for example, like we want X of these. It's like, okay, what's your problem? Well, I have a lot of theft in my store or what have you. Our next question is going to be exactly which aisle at what time of day, right? It's to understand that granularity so that we can be really thoughtful on how we propose something. And then we might come back to the chancellor, the president, and say, hey, listen, I know you said 10. Actually, I think, 7 and staggered in this kind of way in this location during these hours. And we'd like to upgrade you to Knightscope Plus, where your staff may not have the bandwidth to handle all the alerts and that sort of stuff. And we can do that on your behalf if you like. So gonna have a good dialogue, and then off to the order form process, legal, purchasing, finance, fun stuff.
The money in the bank account stuff. Love it. And
Exactly.
so,
Oh, and the price. And sorry, Jason. The
yeah.
price. The effective price is $3 to $9 an hour. Kind of if you're running 24/7. In some cases, we have clients that want a single shift or double shift, or maybe a single shift during the week and then triple shift over the weekend or whatever we might need to do. So we're happy to accommodate there.
And so on that, and this kind of goes into, the models a little bit. Is that exactly how it is? You basically pay by an hour SaaS structure, or do they pay hey, I need to pay an upfront fee to get them to here first, or I'm buying these. Maybe just walk me through that a little bit if you don't mind.
Yeah, we machine as a service or safety as a service. We typically sign year-long contracts running 24/7. But in some cases, some clients might need that changed a little bit. And most of the clients end up paying monthly. In some cases, some pay the maybe, if I recall correctly, maybe close to a third might prepay the entire contract for the year. Or we can provide financing to kind of help that along. But yeah, it's very, very cost effective. Maybe to put a little reference point, it's an unarmed guard is $15 to $35 an hour, depending on what they need to be doing. And armed, let's say off-duty law enforcement officer, and this varies widely across the country, but you're looking at around $85 an hour. So if you waltz in at $3 to $9 an hour, and I can give you 10x more capability than you have today, you're going to have a good productive dialogue.
Yeah. No, it's a great ROI. Well, that's very interesting. A good little dive in there. I think we covered a decent amount. Kind of general overview. I know we talked about a lot of things. I want to keep letting the questions come in. This has been awesome. I really appreciate you taking the time. Anything else? I know we covered a bunch of stuff. Anything you wanted to throw on top?
Just if you can make it out to the Robot Roadshow, there's so many Zoom calls and getting PowerPointed to death, or watching videos, or downloading PDF brochures or whatever. If you get a chance to come and visit, the schedule is at knightscope.com/roadshow. We were just in Minneapolis, and we're in Wisconsin today, and I think we're heading off to other parts of the Midwest, including Chicago. So we hope to see you out there.
Perfect. Well, awesome. Well, Bill, thanks so much for taking the time. Again, want to invite anyone with questions, please drop it below. We'll make sure we do a lot more of these interactive videos. But again, Bill, thanks so much for joining.
Good to see you. Thanks.